Then the next concept in organizing chapter, that is formal and informal organization. As in previous class, you learned about the functional and divisional organization structure. Similar to that, we have another kind of organization and structure, that is formal and informal organization. So first we discuss about formal organization. So in each and every organization we can able to observe formal and informal structure of an organization. First we learn about the formal organization. Then what is formal organization? So formal organization refers to the organization structure that designed by the management to accomplish the organizational goals, and also it establish authority and responsibility. By clearly establishing authority and responsibility, the coordination is to be ensured. So that is why the formal organization is one which is deliberately created by the top level management for the purpose of achieving organizational goals and objectives effectively and efficiently. As you know about the simple organization structure, that is in top level management, managing director, below him the branch manager, below him departmental heads, below the departmental heads supervisors, below the supervisors all workers in the organization, they are going to work. Like that, in formal organization it is created by the management to achieve organizational goals and objectives effectively and efficiently. So say for example, I will show the simple organization structure, that is managing director, below the managing director branch manager, below the branch manager all departmental heads, below him supervisors, and below the supervisors workers, they will going to perform their duties. Like if the organization created this structure, then it is called formal organization. Say for example, the declaration of any announcement relating to the college activities, if you get all the information through the official notice, means it is officially bound that the information came from the college or respective authority. So that is why formal organization is a boundary, or it is an official chain which is created by the management for the purpose of achieving the organizational goals. That is called formal organization. Keep remember only one meaning. Formal organization means it is an organization structure which is created by the management for achieving organizational goals and objectives effectively and efficiently. So where it will going to establish authority and responsibility relationship, by that the coordination is to be ensured in the enterprise. That is called a formal organization. Then what are the features of formal organization? The first feature is it clearly defines the lines of authority and responsibility for every individual in the organization. Say for example, all they are individual, managing director, branch manager, departmental heads, supervisors and workers, where it will going to create authority and responsibility relationship in the enterprise. Say for example, managing director have authority and branch manager have responsibility to complete the work given by the managing director. So like that, the managing branch manager gives order to the departmental head, so his responsibility is to complete the work. So that is why by looking into this structure, we can easy to identify who is superior and who is subordinate. That is why it clearly defines the lines of authority and responsibility for every individuals in the organization. Then second is, it is a means to achieve the objectives with specified in the plans of the organization. So as you know, who is going to prepare the plans? Obviously, top level management. So whatever the plan prepared by the top level management, the formal organization works to realize all those plans which is stated by the management. That is why whatever the plan stated by the top level management, the formal organization work to achieve those plans stated by the enterprise. This is the second character. Then third is, it is designed by top management. So who is going to create this structure? Like this kind of structure is created by the top level management only. Who will be at the top level management? Managing director, chief executive officer, chairman, president, chief financial officers. They will be at a top level management. They only create this organization structure. That is why the third character is, it is deliberately created by the top level managerial executives. Then fourth is, it gives more importance to work. Very important. It gives more priority to work rather than personal relationship. So here in formal organization, we are not giving much importance for personal relationship. Say for example, managing director and branch manager, if they are relatives, if they are friends, means that is not entertained in the company. So the relationship only in the work. So that is why where its main intention is to give the work rather than a personal relationship. If even though both these two persons are relatives or friends, that is not a manner in the company. So the main intention of formal organization is to work in a relation to achieving goals of the enterprise. That is why it gives more importance to work rather than a personal relationship. Then last comes, that is the fifth feature, the efforts of various department is coordinated through formal organization. Through the help of formal organization, all the departmental activities and all the efforts of divisions, sections and departments in the organization are to be coordinated with formal organization. That is why with the help of formal organization, we can able to coordinate the entire departmental efforts. All these five about the features of formal organization. So very simple, formal organization means official chain of organization which is created by the management. Say for example, in a college, if the examination timetable is announced by the department, means the department send a notice to the all colleges, the college heads, they will going to send information to every classroom, and that timetable is to be pasted on the notice board of the concerned class. Like that, if the information comes from the official chain, that is called formal organization. So this is about the main view of formal organization. So we discussed about the meaning and features of formal organization. It is officially bound. So it is created by the official chain in the enterprise. By that, the work is to be performed in the company. The next concept in a formal organization, that is advantages or merits or benefits of formal organization. Why the company is going to create formal organization structure means to get the 5 benefits. Let's discuss what are those benefits. The first advantage is it is easy to fix responsibility and establish work relationship. So where with the help of this structure we can easy to know who is superior and who is subordinate and from whom the work is to be get. Say for example, branch manager is going to get the work from managing director, and departmental heads, they are going to get the work from branch manager, and the supervisor, he will going to get the work from departmental heads, and workers, they are going to get the work from supervisors. That is why the first advantage is it is easy to fix responsibility and establish work relationship. Responsibility means what? Completing the task which is given by superior. Then second is it helps in avoiding duplication of work. So here there is no duplication of work. So because the structure clearly says from whom employee get work order and to whom he must report. So that is why there is no duplication of work. It means the single work will not be performed by 2 persons. That is why there is no duplication in the work in the organization. That is why the second is it helps in avoiding duplication of work. We cannot able to entertain the duplication of efforts by the 2 or more persons. Then third is unity of command is maintained through an established authority. What is unity of command? Where you learned unity of command? You learned in the second chapter, that is the Henry Fayol principles of management, unity of command. What it says? There will be one superior for one group of employees or individual worker. They must receive order from only one superior and they must responsible to one superior. So where in this structure it's clearly observed that the branch manager is going to get order from only one person, that is managing director. So the departmental heads, they are going to get work order from only one head, that is branch manager. So like that the workers, they are going to get order from the supervisor, that is to be by only one person. That is why where in the case of unity of command we can able to observe the work is to be get by only one person. Like this, managing director gives order to branch manager, branch manager gives order to supervisor, supervisor gives order to worker or employee. So where only one superior for one individual subordinate. It is to be benefited by formal organization. Then fourth is, it is an easy way to achieve organizational goals, where in formal organization there is no confusion, there is no duplication of efforts. That is why where we can easy to achieve organizational goals. It is clear that worker get order from supervisor, supervisor get work order from branch manager, branch manager get order from managing director, means there is a clarity in working relationship. If all the employee they performed their work, means the organizational goals are to be realized within that time. That is the fourth advantage. Then last is, it maintains stability in organization. So where with the help of formal organization we can able to maintain the stability in a business enterprise. With the help of formal organization there is no turnover of labors, there is no duplication of efforts, and there will be an clarity in working relationship. That is why where it help in maintaining the stability in entire organizational performance. All these five about the formal organization advantage. It is also very similar to functional and divisional organization. So like that we have formal and informal organization. The next concept is disadvantages of formal organization. So now only you learned about the meaning, features and advantages of formal organization. Then what are the limitations and the problems and even the drawbacks which are associated in formal organization is, the first is delay in action. So here the working order to be passed to the employee may get delayed. It will going to take some time to give work order, because the work has to be passed from top management to lower level management. Say for example, managing director wants to give work to the workers, means at that time it must pass from managing director to branch manager, from branch manager to departmental heads, from departmental heads to supervisor, and from supervisor he will going to pass work order to the workers. That is why where it must pass between all these three heads, means at the time it will going to take more time in the organization. So that is why taking of actions may get delayed in formal organization. That is the first drawback. Then second is, it reduces creativity. So creativity means thinking new things and taking initial steps to make the changes in the enterprise. It is not possible in this kind of organization, as it reduces creativity because it lacks initiative of the employees. Initiative means freedom. So where in the case of formal organization there is no freedom to branch manager, departmental heads and supervisors. They must work as per instruction given by their immediate superiors. That is why there is no freedom and they cannot able to take the proper decisions in the enterprise. That is why it reduces creativity of the subordinates. Then last disadvantage is limited scope. So here the scope of formal organization is limited because it creates the boundary of work of various executives in the enterprise, where the branch manager, they must work within the framework specified by the managing director, and the departmental heads, they must work within the framework which is described by branch manager, and the supervisor must work within the framework which is described by the departmental heads, and the workers, they must work within the boundaries which is described by the supervisors. That is why here there is no scope for the individuals in the enterprise. That is why the last drawback is limited scope. All these 3 points which explains about the disadvantages or demerits of formal organization. This is about the first, that is formal organization. Once again I will summarize what you learned in this concept: meaning of formal organization and its features, advantages and disadvantages. Where formal organization means, just keep remember, it is officially bound. So everything and each and every information is to be get by the management only. So the top level management created this structure. From this structure only each and every organizational activities are to be performed. So that is why always authority flows from top level to lower level, and responsibility moves upwards from a lower level management to higher level management. So it moves in a upward movement. So this is all about formal organization. So do revise or do watch the video 2 times and refer the notes or textbook points at 2 times, then only you can able to understand this concept. So that is the organization structure.